Good morning. I'm Rick Dancer, coming to you live from downtown Springfield, sitting outside the Washburn Cafe, but I thought we'd do this in my car. So I wanted to tell you really quickly what's up today on Get Real with Rick Dancer. So coming up at noon, we're going to go with this group of folks who are on a campaign to get people to drive more safely, to start tailings, to stop going so quickly, to stop texting, stop paying attention to your phone while you drive. And so they asked me to be in this video they did with a bunch of different people in town. And so today we're going to talk with them. I'm going to actually take them through town. We're going to drive around and talk about this campaign they have. And it's good for me. Hi, Ted. Hi, Rita. It's really good for me because some of those things I do sometimes. I'll be full disclosure. And so it's causing me to have to, if I'm going to be in a video saying I don't do that, then I kind of have to not do it. So it's making me be accountable, which I kind of don't like. But hi, Ashley. So that's coming up at noon. Then tonight at 4:30, a super special show. A young man named Brandon. He's a veteran, 28 years old, and he's starving to death. Because he can't get the treatment he needs from the vet hospital. He has this rare disease, but it's taken 8 years to figure out what's going on with him. He's down to 109 pounds, 109. And this is a 28-year-old man. His life is miserable. He eats and he gets, 10 minutes after he eats, he feels totally, completely sick. And so he doesn't eat because he just feels so horrible about it. So nobody's listening to him. The media won't pay attention to him. So I'm just going to do a free show for him and have him come in and talk about what he's doing because his heart's in the right place and I feel so badly for him. Can you imagine not being able to eat a meal without being sick for 8 years? Unbelievable. And the fight, so he finally knows what it is, and he'll explain all that. OHSU has been super helpful and figured out what it is. Third topic. I don't know if you guys saw the video we did yesterday where I went downtown and talked to a business person in downtown Eugene about the protesters. We're not calling them homeless anymore. We're calling them protesters. And these were protesters who set back up on public property on the county butterfly lot after the county opened up a park, a place for them to go. And these people chose not to go and instead come back, which everybody predicted was going to happen, and come back, or some of them never went in the first place because I think they're trying to make a point. I don't think this has to do with anything but making a point. And that was proven by the video we went and talked to them yesterday. And then afterwards, I talked to the man who's allegedly their crown prince or governor or whatever the heck he is. They all say he's not in charge, but he says he's in charge. And he tried to videotape me with a GoPro, but I'm a video producer. I kind of looked down, saw it come out of his pocket, saw him putting it on me, saw the red light come on. I'm not stupid. So that conversation ended right at that point. I walked away. But he did say to me in the meantime when we were standing there that he found there were more advocates in Eugene than there were homeless people. So it's a really good place for him to come spread his message about homelessness and stuff. So it feels to me like we're being used as a community for somebody to make a point. And I think that's the trouble when we don't have a standard for what we accept as behavior in our community. Then we become known all over the country as a place where people can come and just do this kind of crap in our backyard. This is not about being heartless. It's not about not caring. Anybody can try to say that and you're full of shit because that is not true. You cannot say that me and other people who are talking about this are not caring people. I do stories all the time on people who are truly homeless. On protesters, I don't. So, and it's okay for us as a community to call this kind of stuff out and say enough is enough. When you're destroying business for people downtown and people are suffering. One of the guys in the interview yesterday actually said to me, well, I feel really bad for the business people. I'm sure that's not good. Something to this effect. I'm sure that's not good for them. And I went, well, but you're the cause of it. You know what I mean? You cannot say, oh, I feel bad because what I'm doing is causing somebody a problem. Then stop doing it. I mean, So I hope that you guys all put some pressure on our city officials, our chambers, anybody out there who can speak out on this thing, because it's not going to change until the public says we're done. And yes, I know there's a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I'm not saying kick them out. Sorry, that was my phone. Maybe I am saying kick. I'm saying we have to set up a standard of behavior that we accept in our community. In Springfield, I'm in downtown Springfield. Not a problem. Nobody's screaming F you at me. Nobody's nobody's leaving their poop on the sidewalk. You know, and here's the deal. Here's what I think, because this is my page. I can say what I think. I am very concerned about the homeless situation in Eugene, Springfield, and in Oregon. I think when you have protesters like this, it only makes those people look worse. It makes all people driving around looking at somebody who's in a really bad situation, and it makes them go, yeah, there they are, when it's not them. I run into lots of people at Willamette Lane in the shower over here. They don't hang out down there. This is not them. And then, so when you have a few people like that using us as a cause, then all of a sudden our truly homeless people here in our community, from the mission, the people that are really drug affected and mentally ill, they're getting dragged into that perception, and it makes people, you know, who might not be aware of what's going on, just see them on the street and go, yeah, they're those people again. And that's not fair. So that's another problem. If you talk about compassion, you want to have compassion for people, then we should be compassionate towards the people who are really trying, you know? So we have to be involved, and we can feel like this is the right thing, but unless you write your city councilor or go to a meeting or put pressure on organizations you're involved with to say we're done, you know, it's for poor Michelle, it's destroying her business, because people don't want to sit. Interesting. People don't want to sit in a little cafe in downtown Eugene and look out the window and see somebody who just was taking drugs barfing all over the pavement. Really? You aren't that tolerant? You're not tolerant enough to watch people barf while you eat your lunch? Is that a standard we want in our community, that we allow drug use right there in front of other people's businesses? Is that something we want our children to see, and we want people to say, you know, we're tolerant of that sort of behavior? No, I'm not tolerant of that sort of behavior. I'm tolerant of people who treat each other well and are considerate of people. I'm tolerant of people who are trying to get help, who are working on it. And there's a lot more of them than there are of these protesters. We have to have a better attitude towards the homeless, because we don't have affordable housing. It's hard to rent places. There really is a problem. Don't let the protesters make us think that the problem is because they don't want to stay out too late at night. They gave me the reason that they're not going to that camp is because there's too many rules. Welcome to my world, okay? I've got so many rules to run a frickin' business in Oregon, and so many rules to own a home, and so many rules to drive my car. Good God, the world is made up of rules, and you don't feel like you should have to have a curfew to stay in a place that St. Vincent de Paul's is operating to keep it safe. Imagine how intolerant I am. I mean, come on. So we need to make sure that our county, they're on county land right now. That's yours and my property. And we need to make sure that they're hearing us. We don't need to be angry at them. We just need to be purposeful. And we need to be persuasive. We need to be kind, but kind. See, and some people, I think it's funny because people will say to me, you're not being nice. Nice is not what I'm trying to be. I think you can be direct and still be kind. I wasn't mean. You go back and look at that video. I was not mean to those people yesterday. I let them have their voice. I asked them some very direct questions, which is what possibly the city ought to start doing. Maybe the city councilors, before they make a vote, should go out and actually talk to the people that we're talking about, not generalizing. Talk about generalizing. Saying those people, those protesters, are representative of the homeless population in Eugene, bullshit. They're not. They are not representative of the people. I met a man at the mission the other day, Edward, nicest guy in the world. He's just having a hard time and a hard life, and he's trying to do better. He doesn't hang out down there. He is not, they don't represent him. He's trying to do better. He's going to some programs at the mission. He feels hope a little bit. He hugged me, I hugged him. He's trying hard. A lot of those people are trying hard. We need better mental health services, not because of those protesters. Now, that has nothing to do with it. We need them for the people like Edward. We need to be fighting for the Edwards who are trying to make their life better, fighting for those people, not listening to people who are just trying to get their way, what they want. I don't even know what they want. None of them could explain what they want. Go look at the video. They couldn't even explain what it was they were taught, what they wanted to have. But what I want is a safe community for my businesses, for our kids. I want women, people. I've had people writing me from Corvallis, from Portland, from Albany, all writing saying the same thing is happening in our town. We can't, and it's not the homeless population, it's this type of person. And the same thing is happening all over Oregon until people stand up and say, okay, we're done. And it's not being incompassionate. I think it's being more compassionate to make people live up to a behavioral standard. Saying, you know what, we have standards in our community. You don't poop on the street. You don't get to use drugs on the streets of Eugene and then vomit in front of a restaurant. That's a standard we have in our community. You don't get to yell F you at women walking by and make them feel uncomfortable. You don't get to be yelling at people when they walk by, trying to engage them in an argument or a conversation. That's not allowed in our community. We don't do that. What is allowed in our community is people who are trying, people who are compassionate, people who are really truly trying to work their way out of a situation. If you're mentally ill and you're on the streets, we want to find a place to put you and get you help that you need. If you're just here to create a ruckus and get your message out, I understand that somebody sent me something. I understand the gentleman who's in charge down here also has a GoFundMe campaign. A GoFundMe campaign? Really? Huh. Does anybody know what a red flag is when it raises? That's a big red flag. What a GoFundMe campaign? Edward doesn't have a GoFundMe campaign. He's just trying to get his frickin' life straightened out. He's not out promoting the lifestyle of homelessness. He's trying to get off the streets and get his life back together. But unfortunately, he's an alcoholic and he has other issues, and it's really hard for him. So why are we paying attention and spending our time paying attention to the noise rather than the people who really are trying to do the work and get out of this? That is not being compassionate. That's being a fool. And we have got to stop being fools. And we're the only ones who can do this. So you get on your computer, you write a letter to the city council, write one letter, and then you go on the and you can hit it, you can paste it to every single city councilor, and you be nice and you be kind, but you be firm, and you say, we're done. We are done with you putting up with this sort of behavior. And call them protesters, don't call them homeless. We're going to distinguish between the two. There are homeless people in our community, and we are not here to judge them. We're here to help them. And then there are people who are here by choice, and they want to live like that. I don't understand that, and some people will say, oh, nobody wants to. I don't get it. But I've heard it. I asked the question. What I don't understand is, I go down there. I've done this many times. Of course, I was a reporter, so I don't give a shit. But I ask people questions. If I want to know, where are you from? None of those people were from here that I talked to yesterday. None. And then I've gone downtown and said, do you want to be on the street? And I've had many people say, yeah, which that's okay. That's their right. It's just, what are we going to do to make sure it's not the street that's going to destroy the business and the right people are down there? Because that's the real problem. We need some kahunas, as they used to put it when I was a kid. So we need to have kahunas. And if we develop some kahunas, then that really is, I think what we think, the lie that we buy into in this state is that if you just let people do anything they want, then you're being kind. Bullshit. Just bullshit. True kindness is setting a standard and helping people live by that. But there's also consequences when you don't. Because if we don't care about the entire community, then one little segment, one tiny little fragment can destroy everything we're working for. And that's what's happening right now. So I'm all for helping the truly homeless. And I don't want to have to define what that is. But when somebody comes into my community and admittedly doesn't, that's what I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because if you want to get into a community and really make some change, you have to work within the boundaries of that community. And that's the big problem. Oh my God, that is the big problem. We don't have boundaries. We're like bad parents who are raising children who have no boundaries and don't know. They're like latchkey kids. They're coming home from school. We got no standard, nobody to watch them, nobody to say anything. And that's what we've become in our community, is bad parenting. And if you want that to change, first, you got to make sure that those counselors know that. Now, are they going to go and vote against what they believe, their heart? Probably not. So we elected them. I didn't. I don't live in Eugene. But you might want to start thinking about the kind of people you're electing. If you're putting people into office who are not doing the things that you think are appropriate, then you don't vote them into office. Otherwise, I think we go in there and the more people, I mean, these are politicians, so the more people that put pressure on and say, we aren't going to do this anymore, then things can change. Is it going to happen fast? No. But see, I think the best part is you and I can change it because, okay, so here, now I'm going to do a little pitch here. Here we are, it's the season of giving, right? So St. Vincent de Paul has a program called Holiday Joy. You want to fight against this sort of thing, give to a program like that really works and helps. A single mom yesterday and her 2 kids that I talked to, awesome woman. You can go back and look at the video. She just needs the help. That's how I want to fight these people. I'm not going to give them my time of day. I did that yesterday. I'm done with them. But what I can do to fight that kind of thing is go serve and give to other people that need that truly need the help. And do it through an agency. Don't hand money out your window to somebody. That's not the way to help people. You give it to the agency. Shelter Care, St. Vincent de Paul. There are so many agencies like that working together to really solve these problems and programs that they have going on. Salvation Army, a lot of your churches. Go do that. That's where you're going to make an impact. And that's how you and I can fight this thing. One, we can send a letter to the counselors. We're not going to let them off the hook. We can demand in a kind way that we get some kind of a standard of behavior in this community and not some pussy thing that they're talking about. And then the third thing is to get your mind off of them. Don't pay attention to them when you're downtown. And instead, the way you fight it is you fund other things that are important in your community. And I don't care if you're in Corvallis or Albany or Portland, this is how we're going to have to do it because the tide is against us. And the mood is bad parenting works. Well, it doesn't. But call out the lies. You know what I mean? When allowing people to just do what they're doing down there, and we say, well, we're trying to give everybody, their space. No, BS. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. So anyway, that's my rant for the morning. Yeah, take it as you will, but I'll tell you what, we're not alone. There's a lot of frustrated people on here. Democrats, Republicans, independents, super liberals, super conservatives. There's a bunch of people. You cannot label this problem. You can try, you will, and you'll try to belittle us and say that you're not, you don't represent, that you're unkind, and watch the demonization will begin, but you can't let that stop you from using your voice. I'm not a villain. You can't say that I don't care about people. You can try, but it's a big lie and everybody knows it, so you can't do that. And I gave those people their fair voice, gave them a shot at it yesterday, and I think their true story came out of their own doing. So that's kind of how it works. That's what journalism is supposed to be. Not sticking a mic in someone's face. What do you want people to think? So anyway, I probably got myself in enough trouble for one day. So tune in at noon because we're going to have a really cool story where we're going to drive around in a car and tell you about this new campaign and to kind of get all of us more aware of what we're doing when we're driving and what we're not doing. It's super neat. They're nicest people, great people. Really, I'm excited to do that. And then that's sponsored by Bucks Sanitary Service. And then at 4:30, this veteran, Brandon, 28 years old, has a disease that is curable, but he can't get the Veterans Hospital to work with him. And so we're going to talk with him. He weighs 109 pounds. He's been basically starving to death for 8 years. And he's desperate to get the word out. So we're going to do that. It's a free show. No sponsor. It's just because I think he deserves to have a voice. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go to work. Have fun. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Get those letters going. Let them know you heard it, and be kind. Do not yell at them. Okay? Be kind. Kindness is what it kills. And but if you're in there and you go in there and going, you people always do this and you never do this. This has been a problem forever. You start on a fresh slate. I'm noticing a problem. I'm really concerned, and I want you to listen to me. The protesters camping on public property need to have a standard set. Downtown Eugene needs a behavioral standard. You go into those things very cautiously. Keep your emotion out of it. All right? Okay, you have been instructed. And if you don't like what I said, just say, Rick's full of shit. All right, see ya. Bye.